And we've been here with Milo, Carl, Stefan, and Bill from the Descendents. I just want to say how great it is that you could come by and visit us, and how cool it is that you've reformed. So why don't you answer this question first, Milo? Tell me about how you got back together with the band and when the decision came about.
Yeah, well, I was doing scientific research for the past 9 years, and basically January this year I started writing music again and gave Bill a call, and we started up a collaboration at that point, and which basically, you know, turned into a full album. And it's just been a lot of fun, you know, writing the songs and, you know, recording with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, you, obviously, because you were the last Descendants together, actually, in this lineup, yeah, before you became All. Let's talk a bit about the fact that, you know, so many bands have actually, you know, been influenced by the Descendants, and it's pretty obvious. I mean, a lot of people talk about it. How do you feel about that, Bill? After all the, you know, songs you've written over the years with the band.
I think it's cool to, you know, to have had a place, you know, in the grand scheme of music. I mean, that's really, you know, it's exciting. I mean, we never thought that anyone would ever even listen to us or anything when we started the band when we were kids. We just, you know, did it because it was fun. So it's cool to sort of, I guess, be part of like a continuum, you know, just, you know, to have had influences as like a really young kid, and then to have become an influence on like other people. That's cool. Yeah,
and there's great songs there too. Right now we've got an actually brand new video from the New York. I'm Matt Pinfield. With me now are the Descendants. Let's talk a bit about, we mentioned before too, the songs and people being influenced by it. Now, Hope's been done by Soul Asylum, Face to Face have done Bikeage. A lot of people have covered songs by you. And even in that song by Face to Face, Disconnected, there's that line from Hope, you don't know what you want, it's going to take you years to find out, that kind of influences the whole chorus. Was it something that, you know, to kind of get used to when you know, I kind of asked you that before, but I meant, you know, checking out people's covers of everything.
It seemed like there was kind of a wave of it. You know, there was nothing, and then there was this wave of it, and it seemed like everybody had a Descendants song on their record. Sublime, Face to Face, Soul Asylum, just whoever. And then somebody put together like a compilation of like all these bands doing Descendants covers. So there was a little flurry of it, and I'm not sure what caused that really. Yeah, you know, I guess probably just since this kind of music seems to be sort of popular right now, maybe, and then when people get into it and then they kind of investigate some of the roots of it, and they end up, you know, on our page in the book, and then, you know, maybe it just more people became aware.
And tell me a bit about the new album, Everything Sucks. Now, everybody pretty much took place in writing on this record, right?
Yeah, we pretty much always, you know, we all chip into it, and yeah, just I think everybody sort of comes to the table with whatever they have new, you know, and whenever it's time, whenever we have enough time to sit down together and hash them all out. And yeah.
He actually wrote, you know, a couple complete songs.
Yeah, wrote whole songs.
He wrote some pop songs,
yeah,
if you can believe that.
Yeah, my first foray at writing a legible song.
Stefan has just traditionally written like these really weird instrumental things, which is kind of what Milo was getting at there. But on this record, for whatever reason, Stefan's songs are sort of more, they kind of fit into the thing a little more.
They sound like they sound like our band.
He got all verbal on this record, you know.
Wrote my first word and everything.
Yeah.
It's good that you did that too.
Baby's first words.
Yeah, baby's first words.
And right now, actually, we're going to play a video for a song that Carl wrote, and it's called "I'm the One" off the album Everything Sucks. Here it is. Check it out. Descendants. Milo, now after Milo goes to college, obviously the title of that album was, you know, referring to you going off and going to school. Came back and did a bunch of records, and then left and came back again. Did you see yourself obviously going into, you know, doing biochemistry and everything? Did you ever picture yourself doing this all these years later?
No, I was really headed down that road, you know, towards academic oblivion. And, you know, I've always thought of music as not a career, but just something I like to do as a hobby, and I was going to seek my fortunes in something else, like, you know, science in this case. But, you know, in recent years I've, you know, decided that music's a lot more fun, so why not do music?
Yeah, exactly, especially since you can. Now, you've always written with your songs, I mean, being from honest experiences and even tongue-in-cheek. Bill, one time you told me about Catalina being written about, you know, at the time you were out fishing on your boat, and it was actually a real thing that was going on. It wasn't just, you know, made up or imagined. You still write from that point of view?
Normally with us, all of the lyrics come from first-hand experience, things that concern us, you know, and typically a lot of the things that do concern us deal with, I guess more than anything, is sort of involved relationships, you know, that sort of thing. But other things are equally as important or more important, like fishing or like driving through your favorite fast food restaurant or coffee or whatever other silly subject that is actually really important to us.
Kind of first-person non-fiction, I guess, is the easiest way to put it, I think.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff, too. Stick around because we've got a lot more to talk to these guys about after the break. Right now, here's the latest from Kula Shaker. Actually, it'll be up in just a little bit, so stay with us. Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm your host, Matt Pinfield, here with the Descendents. Now, I know Matt, who does The Simpsons, has been a big fan of the bands for a while. He's actually written about you guys years ago, and a lot of people actually said that, I've heard that Bart Simpson, the character, was actually based on you, Milo. Have you heard that as well?
Actually, it's based on Allroy, which is the kind of band mascot of All. And if you look at Allroy compared to Bart, it's kind of almost legally, well, I won't say anything more, but it looks very similar. Yeah.
They could be brothers.
Now, Allroy's, all the All stuff, like from Allroy's Revenge, like She's My Ex would have been.
You know, actually, I'm not sure if it's derivative. I mean, the two things were kind of contemporary almost, and they could have mutually combusted without knowledge of the other one, you know what I mean?
Right.
We've never really looked into it just because Matt's always been like a pretty cool guy, and he's never bothered us, and we've never bothered him.
Right, I was thinking of it more like it was a compliment because
Yeah,
you guys.
either way, I mean, that guy is, you know, amazing.
Yeah, he really is.
Human being.
Yeah, he used to write. Yeah, he reviewed a few of our albums and stuff a lot, like when we were, you know, like in '83 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw those. Speaking of which, besides that, with All, at the time that you decided to get back together with Milo, were you actually set to record a new All record at the time? And how did
we were working on songs. We had about 22, I guess, at that point. We were working on them and demoing them, and yeah, then we started, you know, kind of talking to Milo. He was saying how he was a little bit, I guess, restless at his laboratory stuff, and he also had some songs. He had 9 songs too, and so we just talked about, you know, maybe recording and, you know, just doing some music. It seemed like a fun idea. So really, at that point, we basically partitioned into 2 bands. You know, so on the one hand, we are Descendents with Milo, but we are also still going to do stuff as All with Chad.
Oh, you are going to do that?
Yeah, so we're sort of continuing it in both directions, kind of alternately or taking turns. You know?
Right.
We've been referring to it as a two-headed baby.
Yeah, it's a two-headed baby.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's face it, you've been able to write a lot of songs over the years, and since all of you contribute, you know, there's enough material there.
5 really strong writers.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I wanted to say thanks for stopping by. It was just great to have you here and continuing on with the tour, right, at this point?
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. We've talked about you tons of times, so it was just good to have you by, to tell you the truth.